So in the interest of maybe lighting a fire under the proper people over at Double 11 that would make a change, affect a change, I honestly believe it's still the suits. I believe they hold back the community manager and the devs, but I mean we're talking about this in hopes to maybe push them to answer something, anything, so we know what's going on. Because we're almost halfway through February, and guess what? No communication. We got a teaser of like, hey, something big's coming, promise, and a roadmap. Still nothing. Still nothing on PTB, which needs to be cooked for at least a period of time. You know, if there's any bugs or anything, especially if you're talking like a big update, like some kind of mode of transportation, whether it's helicopters or cars, or even ziplines, whatever. Hot air balloons. We do need time for that to simmer. So we're hoping that we get some communication on this because we haven't heard anything. All right, and you know, again, we got people talking about Rust Mobile, like DOA Mike's talking about Rust Mobile here in the. He said, "Why does it feel like Rust Console is dying?" It says every since. He says they're rushing Rust Mobile out. I tell you what, I mean, you heard me say it like 50,000 times, but Rust Mobile is going to steal their lunch at least a little bit. Because think about it, if you can kind of plug in your phone to like a mouse and keyboard, play legit, or even a monitor or your TV, why wouldn't you if you've got cars and minis day one, right? Like, it makes sense, you know? It may not be the, but you know, a lot of us here are probably like, yeah, I'd rather not play a mobile. Me personally, yeah, probably, but I'll be honest, I'll be playing it because they've got minis, right? And it also like really pushes the question into like our core systems. I know, quote unquote, a lot of people say it holds them back, but I mean that's the game it was originally set up for, so they have to support it. But even the core systems have more memory and more processing power than the mobile phones and stuff, right? So I'm not saying it's easy to do the conversion and stuff, but like what's the deal? You know what I mean? Like where are they allocating these resources? And for the love, start talking to the community. Right? Was it Furry Rage? You were saying that somebody in the Discord, well, the Discord is actually run by just random internet clowns, and occasionally the developers show up, or the community manager, but for the most part, yeah, the Discord is just run by randos that seem to be a little bit upset. But on the off chance that sometimes somebody does speak up, it is nice to see the devs do that. But here's the thing, I do think the devs are also kind of bound by that whole NDA thing. Was it? I can't remember if it was Jeff. What was the other guy's name that like left? I mean, I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name, but it was nice because he was actually saying quite a bit, and we did get the impression at the time that the management did not like him speaking, which does track. And he was answering more questions than anybody else, which was fantastic. But then shortly after that, and again, this is speculation. This was like probably 3 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. But what's crazy is, oh, actually, I think those drops are over here. Let me grab these real quick. I know. Another conversation about lack of communication while we're farming in the water. There it is. Yeah, so like, and then he ended up, quote unquote, leaving the companies, which is usually corporate speak. And again, this is me speculating. Corporate speak for we pushed you out or we canned you, but we did it in a nice way. Again, allegedly, we don't know. But it's just interesting that, or he got disenfranchised and was like, you know what, I can't work like this because why are we getting bound? Which makes sense too. What's that guy's name? Does anybody remember? And he was answering questions left and right, which was great. And answering like real questions. Like we would ask him stuff and he's like, yeah, let me go follow that up. I'm like, perfect, this is what we need. And then Pedro did it for a little bit, and then kind of like we haven't heard anything like that again, like kind of like a Ask Me Anything a little bit, but it was in Discord. Not that Discord's actually being used for anything substantial again. It's mostly just chatter, and then they have some people doing moderation for free, because they actually don't work for Double 11, so. Anybody that has a Double 11 name next to them, they're actually Double 11 employees, but you'll see they just kind of show up for announcements and stuff, which is fine. I mean, people can run their Discord however they want, but just know that most of the conversation that happens on the Discord is unofficial. Unless you see the Double 11 name next to it, then it is, more or less. But it was interesting that some of the devs are actually talking in there, but we hope that they continue that kind of stuff because, dude, we're, like, I cannot tell you how disappointed I'm going to be if we get a weak update for February. Like, again, we need February to still have its testing branch, and it needs to cook there for at least 2 weeks, unless they're super confident about it. You know what I mean? Because, like, what if they drop it on testing branch and you need a big patch? Like, then what? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's going to be a massive problem. And we don't want any more delays, that's for dang sure. Like, all we get is delays. So yeah, it's interesting to see where all of this is kind of like coming into play. But I am glad to see that at least Luke is saying something in there. But I don't know. We're hoping that this week we see something, whether it's a dev blog or the testing branch update, which again typically happens on a Tuesday or a Thursday. But for the most part, because we're so late into the month now, you know, we're almost halfway there. You can see PTB get its update at any time. Now, I will be, honestly, I want communication, but I want some mode of transportation. But I am a little nervous that if they're going to bring something in big like transportation, any kind, whether it's flight or on the ground, I'm a little concerned that they're coming in this late with it because I'm almost positive there'll be some kind of hiccup. It's just the nature of the beast, right? Obviously, secretly hoping for, you know, minis, because that's all I want in life, dude. But again, I'll take a car, and it like will echo the same sentiment that a lot of people have. Like, if you're gonna mix it in with some other weird monument, which is fine, please give us parachutes, zip lines, parachutes, some combination of those things. We need the verticality so badly that it's gonna just be like, hey, you know, like we've had dud updates for 4 months now. Slower updates, dud updates, and it's like, hey, I thought we were doing monthly development. Let's push this thing, you know? Speaking of online raid defense, it's not Rust Mobile, it's Rust Plus, which is essentially your phone being interconnected with the game even when you're not online, which helps you tremendously, like basically stop any kind of offlines. Like, you'll know exactly when somebody's outside your base. Even if you don't plug any electronics or anything, it'll give you a notification when your character dies and by whom or what, or both. And you can just with easy connections connect it up to say like, hey, your walls are getting raided, whatever, and have that send a communication directly to your phone, which in turn you can have lights turn on in your office or room that also go off too. So if you're sleeping, you basically get like a light flashing or something if you really wanted to. Anyways, Rust Plus is a big deal. We have a lot of components for that. As a matter of fact, I don't think I have any of those here, but that'd be a big deal. And like, it will push basically online raids more often, which I think a lot of us want. Yeah, watch. Rust Mobile actually has Rust Plus off the rip, too. Won't be like, dude, what's going on? The good news is Rust Plus is made to be hooked into multiple platforms, whether it be PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, whatever, or in this case, maybe Rust Mobile. Still no official word on whether Rust Mobile is going to have that, but at the rate they're going, I don't see why they won't. But I think that would be a big deal, too. So, like, aside from these other big updates that we do want, it would be nice to have Rust Plus, excuse me, I keep wanting to call it Rust Mobile, at some point this year, because I think it would help the solos a lot, or even just the bigger groups, because a lot of people just want online raids, and a lot of people get offline as soon as they go offline. So just imagine a world where Rust Plus helps you keep the offlines off, right, basically, and you can essentially respond at any time. I know they wanted us to sign an NDA, and you know how I feel about it. I've got a lot of videos on that. If you want to go check them out, I'll link them now. But here's the thing. If they said NDA and they're kind of like hinting that there's going to be content coming out and they're really excited for it, obviously that means some big ticket items. So it has to be some form of transportation. But by the way they phrased it, I'm like, is it not coming out right away? Please don't do it at the end of the year. Please don't wait till half of the year to drop that kind of stuff. Please, we're really going to be floundering. Again, the game's not going to fail by any stretch of the imagination, but it does kind of hurt. It's a swift kick in the old virtual nuts when we, you know, we've been floating around for, what, 4 months now? We have, like, no major communication about it other than, like, hey, something big's coming. We can't tell you or we have to NDA you. Right? It's like, guys, just let us know what's going on. At least pop that roadmap. I'm glad you didn't sign the NDA. Yeah, me too. And, like, I'm so excited for this game. I love it, even though I know we have kind of a rough patch now for sure. By no stretch of the imagination am I like, oh, the game's doomed or anything like that. Absolutely not. It's just, you know my stance on it. We had to ditch that last dive site because I almost drowned. It's fine. It's cool, but yeah, they just really need to communicate with us soon because February is ticking off rapidly, and we need to know what's coming. I mean, I guess at the very least, if we get like a monument that's like, yay, but like not anything major, we need to have some of those other things we talked about of some kind of verticality. But at the very least, you got to start communicating to us, like, and let us know why there's a delay. Like, why we're going to be in year 4 almost, like in May. Where's our transportation? We have horses, that's great, but like cars, dude, what's up with that? We literally know they were messing with it on custom servers. We saw the data for it. We've seen the parts literally floating in the map. Right, I got a video on that. I'll show you that. If you want to go check that out, upper right-hand corner, right? But like, why are we waiting on this other stuff? Because remember, the map had to change pretty significantly for the ring road system, but also like to even things out for vehicles. Like, we were around for the beta for vehicles on the PC, so like we have a really good idea of what the map was like beforehand and how it changed and how they like evolved it as it came out. So we're starting to see some of that again here, but again, we've seen so many signals for cars and we still don't have them, so it's like, I don't think they're really having a problem with the actual port itself. It just feels like other things are taking priority, or they put it on the back burner. Again, going back to the management, it's like, guys, talk to us. Why are we not doing this? I love that Rust Mobile is going to do it off the rip because it really kind of forces their hand. And you know what we should start doing? Respectfully, obviously don't be nasty, but we should start posting stuff on the Twitter of like screenshots of Rust Mobile saying, man, it's looking pretty good. You know what I mean? Obviously, don't be mean or nasty to anybody, because, you know, wouldn't that be kind of funny to just keep dropping that in there and be like, people be like, huh? Because here's the thing. I know for a fact that their Monday meetings, Tuesday meetings, whenever they have them, they definitely talk about what's going on in social media. So if that's the main communication that's happening, they're going to have to say something about it, right? I'm just trying to think of a way to get their attention to be like, hey, guys, wake up. Activate the things you have, please. Yes, DOA Mike is absolutely right. In the settings for the custom servers, there was a setting for Junkyard, and Junkyard is tied into cars heavily. It is one of the pieces that are coming in. That was like 2 years. No, I'm sorry. That was over a year ago. And there were even more signals last year to show that not only were the cars being worked on, but like the car parts were in the game, and those parts don't come in until the game has the vehicles, because those weren't just like those rusty pieces you saw on the map. They were like the high quality versions of it that were floating to the surface, because the labs were procedurally generated. So if things were not firing correctly, and we know they were, that's why some of those things were spawning in and then floating to the surface, because all real items have like fake buoyancy, and because of that, that's why those items floated up. But they must have turned them off. Like, we couldn't pick them up, but like the way it was procedurally generating the labs, some of them were being spawned in and then maybe removed, but not fast enough, and then those leftover pieces started floating to the surface. Anyways, point is, we saw a bunch of pieces floating to the surface that are 100% for cars and only cars. Uh-oh. Hold on.
I don't want any problems. I don't want any problems.
I do. Because I don't want any problems. Good luck, sir. He's going to get jumped on that thing. I don't want any problems. I love this game, dude. It's so good. Yeah, we're just hoping that we get the communication. Again, I hope I eat crow and I'm completely wrong, because then that means, hey, we get like a really good update. But let's say that does happen and we get something really big. We get a roadmap this week. Like, please keep up the communication, right? Especially making us wait almost 2 months into the new year before they're like, hey, something good's coming. I guess they did in the devlog say something good's coming, but they gave us no clue as to what was going on. They're just like, hey, you guys got blue balls? Here's some more. You guys like blue balls? What about purple balls? Rustilla's the new guy. Is he going to take over that position, or? Here's the thing. Like, why do they need a second guy if management doesn't let the first guy do anything? Oh, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so it was interesting. I can't remember the original guy's name that actually left the company. And a lot of this is speculation, but he was talking a lot, which was fantastic. Exactly what we wanted. Even gave some hints as to, like, confirming a lot of the stuff that we kind of knew, as far as management or even the development cycle, or like what things were coming. And soon thereafter, He moved on or got let go. We're not sure. And I thought that was kind of interesting that even then, either he got frustrated or they pushed him out. So either way, it's not good. I don't think he just decided to up and leave. I think there was a good reason to do it, whether the management had it or it was him. And then kind of after that, things just went forever quiet. You know, I think Pedro did a little bit of a ask me anything, but that was it. That was the one time after he left. Maybe it was to help smooth things over. But yeah, it's interesting that they're not really letting them talk either. It doesn't surprise me if they hit creators with an NDA saying, you want to see the roadmap? Carrot, carrot, cheese in the trap, sign this. Yeah, it really needs to change. Is there any way we can get their attention respectfully? You know what I'm saying? Without being jerks. We do know we have a dedicated team for Rust Console Edition, so I'm not worried about resources being pulled off. I'm just worried about management allocating the proper amount of time, resources, or activities for such. Get out of here, get. He saw me for sure, he saw me. If 011's going broke, that's a good question. I don't think they are. But if they did, I think the contract would be up. There has to be some kind of clause there. I don't think Gary's that unaware of how things like get played out. So if it does happen like that, I think it'll probably be best for us because I think the you see that little head pop up? We got a little cockroach in the water, boys. Yeah, I don't think I've had a scuba fight in a long time. You see him? Do you see this guy? Trying to take our boat. If he has a harpoon, we're done for. There's no way we can survive that. You're right, Cork. That's an excellent point. Usually bad communication means something upward is happening. Yeah, it's a good point. That's a really good point. I never considered that angle. I don't think so, but it could definitely be. It would explain a lot. Ooh, there's some fight going on the hill. We gotta drop off our cargo. Maybe we should slink our way up. Yeah, I hate to be overtly negative all the time, but we really have to have this communication or have them or get their attention in some way, shape, or form. There he is. Must be doing the dive mission. That's an interesting angle I didn't consider. What if they're going under? Or they're having, like, cuts or something? Is this guy really chasing me? You don't have that heat, brother. I can't believe this guy's chasing. Actually, I can.
Fight me! Don't be a bitch. I know we're both loaded. We've both been farming this fucking ocean. But I want your shit and you want my shit. Fight me. Your tank's gonna run out before mine. I got 2 of them bitches too, bro. I got 3 actually. Don't fuck with me.
Shit. Ah. Dude. That hurt my feelings. I love that he talks shit to me. IQ says, when do you think we're getting the roadmap? We should get it this month. And hopefully we should get it this week, as we're waiting for PTB's update and also the roadmap. So, you know, the way management is with really white-knuckling any information that comes out, I would imagine they have to roadmap by committee, and they've been doing it probably for the last week or 2 weeks, because you know how that goes. Not well. So that's probably why we haven't heard anything. I know the community managers want to say something, but I don't think they're allowed to. So that's kind of where we're at. I hope they don't wait until after this update. I hope they don't give it to us in March or April or whatever. That would really suck. Like, a roadmap needs to be early, you know? Yeah, especially with Rust Mobile on the cusp here. And then, let's be honest, dude, GTA 6 is coming out relatively soon. Well, at the end of the year. It feels soon because we've been waiting for so long, but dude, they better get all the good stuff out now, you know, because all games are going to take a massive dip when that does hit, right? If that's in fall, just assume it's going to be the last 3 months. Just the last of this year is going to be completely shot. And if Rust Mobile's not going to steal your lunch before then, you know what I mean? GTA 6 will. Now, by no means is this game going anywhere, but you know, if they want to have those numbers up to sell those skins, they better make sure they're dropping something substantial. And they better make sure that they're communicating with us on a regular basis, and also we get the roadmap. I think that's just standard fare. You know what I mean? I don't think that's unreasonable. Yeah, I hope that us talking like this, hopefully they see it in their Monday meeting, Tuesday meeting, whenever it happens, and hopefully we can affect that change we've been looking for so much. Like, why are they teaching in school, don't listen to the customer, right? All you got to do is just get, and it's easier than ever to know what your consumers are doing or saying. Like, we're so connected. You just, like, if you're in management at all, just fire up old Twitter, or just jump on your Discord for your product or your game and find out. Take an evening. Heck, do it while you're taking a dump. Right? Do a little research while you're taking a poo. Something.